Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? Well, the answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. When I started using Anchor to do my podcast, it was so extremely easy that I haven't even bothered to look for another app to use. I love this app. It's the only one I deal with, the only one I even recommend, period. I recommend you get on there ASAP. If you want to start a podcast, this is definitely the place to go. It's easy. You can drive around and record. You can sit in your basement and record. You can do it anywhere. It's fantastic. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start, anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Adam Rich from the Really Rich Podcast. I cannot wait to talk to you today about being a VicTOR over a VicTIM. And I know that sounds a bit odd, but the reality is there are so many things in life that teach you to be a victim or to think like a victim, to think like you have all the cards are stacked against you, that everyone wants bad for you, or that somebody's out to get you, or they're trying to take you down, or they're trying to stop you from succeeding. And the reality is, listen, all of those things are happening. It's not a person, it's not a place or a thing specifically, or any one thing at any one time. It's a ton of things. There's always something that in life is going to give you setbacks or going to create hurdles or whatever. But the VicTORs, the victors, find a way to get over them anyway. Like, you're not going to have a smooth ride. And this is what people don't understand. Listen, if you grew up thinking that somebody's trying to hold you back, or somebody's trying to, take you down, or somebody is trying to stop you from achieving whatever it is you're trying to achieve, you might be right. Maybe there is somebody trying to do that. Most of the time, not necessarily, and not specifically, but let's say there is. Let's say there's somebody always trying to take you out. Well, you could whine and cry about that, and you could be upset about that, and hate that somebody's effectively trying to keep you from achieving whatever it is that you're trying to get. But the champions find a way to succeed anyway. There's an old saying, winners win. And it sounds obvious, it sounds redundant, but it's so true. Winners will find a way to win. And so I'm not telling you things are going to be easy. I'm not telling you that once you get rid of all the people that are causing you problems, or once you get rid of all the hurdles in your way, that everything's going to be nice and easy and you're going to have a nice smooth ride. That's not going to happen. Life is full of curveballs. That's all it wants to throw at you is curveballs. But adapting and adjusting is what it's about. You're always going to run into some kind of an issue that you didn't see coming. You're going to always have some kind of a person that doesn't like you, a job that doesn't benefit you or help you get where you're trying to be. Maybe somebody gets the promotion ahead of you that you believe it's meant for you, but somebody else gets it. Yeah, that's fine. Now you can whine and cry and pout about it all you want, but that's not going to change the circumstance. So all you can do is deal with what hand is dealt to you, and then adapt. Find a way around that. And that, I think, one of the best things I've ever heard from anybody is, like, I was at work and I asked this person, like, how did you get to this? Or what do you think your strength is? And I was basically asking about a very specific type of a job that we were working on. And I was like, what do you think your strength is? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And he said, I think my biggest strength is versatility. And that hit me on so many levels, even deeper down the road, like years later. I started realizing more and more about how effective that is. Being versatile is almost the number one attribute you can have when it comes to anything. Because the reality is, if you think that, if you plan for things to be a certain way and you get great at that, well, that's awesome. You're going to be great at that. And you maybe even the best. However, you can't guarantee that those circumstances are going to always stay like that. For those of you that don't know, like, sports that well, or know football in particular, the Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford once said in an interview, and I know I'm going to butcher this, but basically the idea is going to stay the same. He does all this, like, he can sidearm throw. He can throw in all these different arm slots, they're called, whether it's straight up over the head like a 90-degree angle, where your forearm and your bicep look like a 90-degree angle. You can throw over your head a little bit of an angle, like almost 45 degrees. You can do a sidearm where it's almost, straight up sideways, basically. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is this. They asked him about all these sidearms and all these different arm slots that he throws out of. And they said, why do you do that? Why do you throw like that? And because it's not traditional. It's not the way, it's not the proper mechanic that football players are taught, quarterbacks are taught to throw in, because you can be most effective if you throw it in a specific arm slot with a specific spring to it, with your legs bent at a certain angle. You're the most effective at power and speed and accuracy when you throw in a specific arm slot at a specific time and all these things, right? And that is all true. However, they asked, did you ever practice this and this and this basically about his arm mechanics? And he said, no, I never really cared about the arm mechanics. And they were like appalled basically by that, because as a professional quarterback, most of them are taught this in high school and college and all that, how to do these different mechanics and why they're effective and blah, 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 blah. But he said something very interesting that stuck with me there too. He said, well, the reality is when you're playing in the NFL, you're getting chased constantly, and you very rarely have a chance to throw in that perfect arm slot. So I spent my whole life practicing all of them, every angle I can think of, practicing all these different types of ways to throw, so I can get good at all of them instead of just mastering one. And that is a perfect example of what life is like. Life is going to make you throw in different arm slots. It's going to make you play on your back foot, throw across your body. These are football terms, so if you don't get them, what I'm basically saying is nothing is going to be perfect. So instead, if you can find a way to be versatile and figure out how to get good at all of them, or any situation, or be adaptable, then you can really start becoming a champion at whatever you're trying to do. But when you walk through life saying, this person's out to get me, I have all these things that go against me in life, I have all these disadvantages, all these things that are not helping me, okay, then understand that and then figure out how you can be better from there. That's what it's about. How can you win given the circumstances? I remember my dad said before a long time ago when I was playing golf with him, and I've told this story before, but I'm just going to sum it up real quickly. I hit into a bad spot. He gave me the opportunity to take a drop, basically take the ball and move it to a better spot so I had a better angle. And I said, would you do that? And he said, no. And I said, why not? And he said, because I like it to be difficult, because life is difficult, basically. I like it. I like the challenge because that's what makes you good. I want to be so good that even when you cheat, I'll still beat you. And that's how you should feel about life. Even when life cheats, you should still want to be good enough to beat it then. That's what you should get good at. Adapting, being versatile, whatever is thrown your way, don't cry and complain because life doesn't care. All right. Your family member may console you and rub your head and tell you everything's going to be okay, but life doesn't care. It's not going to bend over backwards for your 8th place trophy. It wants excellence. So instead of whining about how things are, adapt, understand how they are, and then figure out a way to win given the circumstances. That's the best advice I can give you guys. I love you so much, and I thank you for listening. Let's do this again soon. If you want to leave me a voice message through the Anchor app, you can do that. If you want to get a hold of me on any of the social media platforms, Twitter, Really Rich Adam, Instagram, Really Rich Podcast or AJam Rich. TikTok is It's Adam Rich. YouTube, I changed the channel name. It's now Adam Rich instead of Really Rich. So if you want to find me on there, just type in Adam Rich. LinkedIn, Adam Rich, founder and host of Really Rich Podcast. You'll find me on any one of these social media platforms. I love you guys, and let's talk soon, all right? I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.